Hello everyone. Am I audible? Hello guys. Am I audible? Good evening everyone. Good evening. Quickly tell me, am I audible and visible, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Can you tell me, am I audible and visible? Great, I am audible. So welcome to the day 4 of this bootcamp, that is SQL bootcamp. And today we will be going to start with the topic. Yes, I'm audible. Great. So yes. So welcome to the day 4 of this amazing bootcamp of this SQL bootcamp, and today we will be going to start with CTE, that is Common Table Expression. So let's just wait for 2 to 3 minutes, okay, so that everyone can join, and then we will begin the session. Till then, anyone of you have any kind of doubt? Okay, revision of yesterday's session. Sure, I will start from the yesterday's topic, that is joins. Okay, so I will take a quick recap of the joins, and then we will start from today's topic, that is CTE. Please check the group description because I have shared all the notes, so maybe all of the notes are uploaded there. Okay, so you guys can check the community description for the notes. Oh yes, I have to explain what is Varchar. Okay, so I will start with that. So semicolon is used wherever we need to, like when we are writing one command. Okay, then on the same area, when we have to write one more command, then we use semicolon. And regarding the project, so in tomorrow's lecture, the day 5 of this bootcamp, I am going to share some of like 4 to 5 questions. Okay, and you guys have to write the queries for those 4 to 5 questions. Okay, and like you have to submit, that will be your project. You guys will be intermediate level in the SQL. Okay, after this bootcamp, you guys will have a very strong grasp of like the main concepts of SQL. Great. Good evening. Good evening. The project is nothing but I will assign some of the questions to you guys, and you just have to write the queries for those questions and you have to submit it. Okay, where you have to submit, how to write the queries, and everything will be given to you guys on the day 5. Okay, I am great. So let's quickly begin with the session. Okay, so the very first thing I want to start with is, just give me a second, and I hope my screen is visible, guys, right? My screen is visible, right, guys? Is my screen visible? Quickly tell me. Great, my screen is visible. So we will quickly start with the recap of yesterday's session. That is the joins. Okay. So the very first thing we have to do the recap is let's start with joins. So I am not going to like again explain the whole theory and practical and everything. So I will just quickly explain this 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So joins is nothing but suppose when you have more than one table. Okay. When you have to fetch some data, when you have to fetch some data from more than one table. Okay. Then we use joins. When we have to fetch data from more than one table, then we use joins. Okay. Then there are many types of joins. There are basically three types of joins. That is the inner join, the outer join, and the third type is cross join. Okay. So these are the basic three types of joins. The first one is the inner join. So what you can do, what you guys can do, you can keep track of these joins with the help of Venn diagrams. Okay. Venn diagram is a very you can say good method to keep like to understand these joins. Okay. So the first thing is inner join. So the very first thing is inner join. So again, with the help of Venn diagram, what is inner join? So when we have two tables, suppose table 1 and table 2, and if we apply inner join, then we are going to get the matched columns from both the tables. Okay, we are going to get the matched data. Okay, only the matched data, the data that is common between both of the tables, we are going to get that data only in the inner join part. Okay, then sir we have outer join. The next topic is outer join. So in the case of outer join, there are three types. That is the left outer join, the right outer join, and the full outer join. Okay, is this clear, guys? In the case of outer join, we have three types. First one is left outer join, second one is right outer join, and the third one is full outer join. In the case of left outer join, we get the common data and all the data from the left table. Okay, all the data from left table and matching data from right table. Okay, so in the left outer join, we get all the data from the left table and the matching data from the right table. So we get all the data from the left table and the matching data from the right table. Suppose this is our table A and this is our table B. Okay. Now the next thing is right outer join. In right outer join, we get all the data from the right table and the matched data from the left table. All the data from right table and matched data from left table. So if I will just draw it, so it will be something like this. Okay, so let's say this is our table A and this is our table B. And in full outer join, in the case of full outer join, we get all the data from both of the tables. Okay, we get all the data from both of the tables. So these are the three types of outer joins. Then we have cross join. Then we have cross join. So in the case of cross join, we get a Cartesian product. We get a Cartesian product. Now, sir, what do you mean by Cartesian product over here? Cartesian product means it gives us the combination of each and every column of each and every row of table 1 with respect to table 2. It gives us all the possible combinations of table 1 with respect to table 2. I hope this is clear now. Is this clear, guys? Is this clear, guys? The very basic definition of types of joins. Great. The next topic that I have to cover is like a very small topic that maybe I left, is what is Varchar. So many of you are asking, sir, what is this Varchar 50 you always write? So you guys must have heard of char, right? You guys must have heard of char, that is character. Char stands for character, right? So if I am writing char 50, this means we are allocating this means we are allocating 50 words of space in our memory for the variable. Suppose I am writing name char 50. Okay, this means we are allocating 50 unit of space in our memory to store the name. So this char 50 over here means that we are allocating 50 unit of space in our memory to store the name of a person. But sir, it is not like the name of a person is always 50 character long. Sometimes the name is 10 character or 5 character or 20 character, max to max 20 or 15 character long. Am I right, sir? Correct. Then sir, why are we allocating 50 units? Sir, we can allocate 5 units, we can allocate 10 units, we can allocate 20 units. So this char 50 over here is consuming more space in my memory. So that is why I use Varchar. Varchar stands for variable character. This var over here stands for variable, and this char over here stands for character. Okay, this varchar stands for variable character, which means we are allocating 50 unit, but like if the name only took 10 units of the space, then the rest 40 units will be freed up. If the name only took 20 units of the space, then the rest 30 units will be freed up. Okay, this is what the main meaning of varchar is. Okay, this is why I am using varchar for great, like for better memory allocation. Okay, I hope this is clear now. If this is clear, the difference between varchar and char, if this is clear, write clear in the chat quickly, guys. Great. So this is clear. We can use any number. Like I am just for my sake, I am using 50. Instead of 50, you can take 100. You can take 10 as well. You can take 5 as well. So you can take any number. I am just taking 50. If you guys want, you can take it as 100 as well. So it is a variable 100 unit length. Okay. So I hope this is clear now. Great. So let's move on to today's topic. That is, let's move on to today's topic. That is CTE. That is common table expression. Okay. Our today's topic is CTE. That stands for common table expression. So any one of you have any kind of idea regarding this common table expression? Any one of you have any kind of idea regarding this common table expression? Any one of you have any kind of idea regarding this common table expression? Great. So common table expression is a kind of a temporary result set. Okay. Common table expression is kind of a temporary result set that we can refer for further further fetching the data. So like if I will just explain you in simple terms, suppose we have a big table. Okay, suppose we have a table of like, let's say 50 columns. Okay, suppose we have a table of 50 columns. Now sir, if we will try to extract or fetch some kind of data from this table, so it will be like a little more clustered, we can say. Okay, so what can we do? Instead of fetching data from this table, I can create a temporary result table with the columns. I can create a temporary result table with the columns from which I need to create I want to extract the data. Okay. So suppose I created a temporary result set. Then I can take this temporary result set over here. I can take this temporary result set over here. Then I can fetch data from this particular temporary result set. Okay. Then I can fetch data from this temporary result set. Okay. So it means, like in simpler terms, we are creating one more table. We are creating one more table from an existing table, so that our data fetching is much more easier and it increases the readability of the code. I hope a basic understanding of CTE is clear to you guys. Am I right? I hope the basic understanding of CTE is clear to you guys. Am I right? Okay, once again. Okay. Okay. So let's begin it from the start. Okay. So, sir, we are we are learning CTE. CTE is nothing but common table expression. Okay, sir. Sir, can you please give us some kind of definition? Okay. CTE is a temporary result set. CTE is a temporary result set that we can refer with the select or insert or update or delete statements. Okay. That we can refer with select or let's say update or let's say delete statements, delete and many more statements. Okay, sir, can you please explain this again? So suppose we have a bigger table. Okay, we have a large data set. But we don't need to extract data from the complete data set. So what are we doing? We are making a smaller data set. We are taking a smaller data set. From this large data set, and then we are fetching the data from the smaller data set. We are taking a smaller data set from this large data set, and then we are fetching our data from the smaller data set. So the smaller data set is nothing but our temporary result set. I hope the basic understanding of this CTE is clear to you. It will be more clear when we will see the advantages and when we will do it practically. Okay. But I hope the basic meaning is now clear to you guys. Great. Great. Now, sir, what are the characteristics of this CTE? Sir, what are the characteristics of this CTE? So, characteristics of CTE. So, the first characteristic is this is temporary. So, we will quickly go through the theoretical part and then we will move on to the practical. Okay. So, mostly 5 to 10 minutes of more theoretical part and then we will quickly move on to the practical part. So, sir, the first characteristic is this is temporary. Okay, so this is not a permanent table. We are creating only a temporary table. Okay, sir. Sir, any other characteristic? Yes. We can assign our own names, okay, to the table. We can assign our own names to the table. Okay. We can give our own names as well. I will show you this how. Okay. Sir, any other characteristic? Yes. It makes our code more readable. Okay. It increases the readability of our code. it increases the readability of our code. It increases the readability of our code. So these are the main characteristics of CTE, that is common table expression. Sir, why do we use CTE, or what are the advantages of CTE? So the very important advantage of CTE is this part, this third point, that it increases the readability of our code, and it is very much easier, or we can say better maintenance of our code. Okay, it increases the readability of our code and better maintenance of our code. I hope this is clear now. I hope this is clear now. Am I right? If everything is clear, write clear in the chat quickly, guys. Great. This is clear. So, sir, what is CTE? CTE is common table expression. Sir, this is a temporary result set that we can refer with the statements to fetch data. To fetch data. Okay, sir, this is clear. Sir, yes. So, sir, what are the characteristics? The characteristics are this is temporary. We can also give our own names to the dataset that we are extracted. And yes, it increases the readability of our code and better maintenance of our code. Okay, sir. Yes, these videos will be available on the DevTown YouTube channel only. Okay, so you guys can watch anytime. Great, great. The basic theoretical part is clear to you guys, right? The basic theoretical part of CT is clear, right? Great. So let's move on to the practical implementation now. Let's quickly move on to the practical implementation now. Okay. So I will just quickly go and open the online SQL compiler. Great. So we have opened the online SQL compiler now. Now let's begin with the code. So quickly, what is the first step? We will be going to create our own table. Okay, we will be going to create our own table. So I will quickly create one table. Create table students, and I will quickly create the table with, let's say, the first column is ID. I'm keeping it as int. Okay, and I'm keeping my ID as primary key. So I've also explained you what are the basic types of keys, and the very first is primary key. Okay, So this is how we implement our primary key. Then the second is column, let's say I am taking name and I'm keeping it as varchar. So instead of like 50, I am going to take it now 100. Okay. So it is not like it's compulsory to take 50. I can take any value. And the next is marks. The next is marks. And I'm taking marks as int as well. Okay. So great. And I will run the SQL. And as you can see, SQL query successfully executed. Now I must have, yes, here's my students table. I hope this is clear now that how we created our table. Now the next step, we are going to insert some data in our table. So to insert the data, I am going to write insert into student value. Insert into student values. Sorry, it is students values, and I will enter the data. Let's say 1 comma. I will enter Lakshya, and I will enter the marks as, let's say, 90. Then I will copy the same line. I will copy the same line and I will paste the same line 4 to 5 times. Okay. Now I just have to change the numbers. Then I will change the marks as well. I will change the marks, let's say 80, let's say 70, let's say 82, or let's say, sorry, not 820, 82, let's say 60, and let's say 85. Okay, so these are the marks I am keeping, and I have to change the name as well. Let's say I'm just keeping some random names. And let's say okay, so I have kept some random names over here. Incomplete input. Okay, I have to just remove this comma. And as you can see, the SQL query successfully executed. And now here's my data in my students table. Okay, so the creation of the table and the data insertion is, I hope this is very much clear to you guys, because like we have done this in each and every lecture, right? So I hope this is clear, right? If this is clear, write clear in the chat quickly, guys. Great, 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 great. Now the next step is to perform. Now the next step is to perform the CTE. Okay, that is common table expression. So I am going to start with, let's say I want to get the data. I want to fetch the data with all the students whose marks are greater than 80. Okay, I want to get the data of all the students whose marks are greater than 80. So what I am going to do, with top scorers, as select name, comma, mark from students, select name, comma, marks from students where mark is greater than, let's say, 80. Okay, and I will quickly close the bracket over here, and I will then write select star from top scorers. So what I have done over here, I have first created a table from this original students table. I have created a table top scorers. Okay, I have created a table top scorers, and in that table I am keeping the data select name, comma, marks from students where marks is greater than 80. Like all the students, all the name and the marks of all those students whose marks are greater than 80 are going to be stored in this top scorers table. And then I am fetching all the data from this top scorers table. So as you can see, the data I am getting over here is Lakshya, Ashutosh and Arush with the marks 90, 85 and 82. Okay, so what I have done over here, I have created a temporary result table. I have created a temporary result table with the name top scholars. Okay, and then I have fetched the data from that temporary result table. So if you can see over here as well, we make a temporary result set. Okay, so this top scholars that I made over here is nothing but the temporary result set that I was talking about. I hope this is clear, guys. I hope this is clear, guys. Great. So this is clear. So what if, let's say from this top scorers as well, I want to print the data. Let's say I'm applying one more condition where name is equal to, let's say I want to print the data of Lakshya only. So as you can see, I can further apply more conditions to my top scorer table as well. Okay, so this is my temporary result set, and now I can apply more conditions to this top scorers result set, like I have applied over here, that where name is equal to Lakshya. So I can just print that data only. Or if I just want to print the marks only, so I will do, instead of star, I am going to take marks only. So as you can see, I have got the mark. But what if I will write ID over here? What will be the output if I will write ID over here? Okay, suppose this is my command, and now what will be the output? Okay, now tell me what will be the output. Suppose I am writing select ID from top scorers. Okay, so let's print the SQL. So as you can see, no such column ID. So why are we getting this no such column ID? Because we haven't selected we have only taken name and marks in this top scorers table. Okay, in the temporary result set, we have taken only name and marks. We haven't taken the ID. Okay, just try to understand. Okay, we have created a top scorers. We have created a top scorers. We have created a top scorers in which we have taken the name and marks only. And now we are writing select star select ID from top scorers. But there is no ID column in my top scorers table. So that is why it is showing me there is no ID and there is no column ID. But what if I will write ID over here as well? What if I will write ID over here as well? Now if I will write ID, comma, name, comma, marks, so it will take ID, name and marks, all three columns from the student table. So if I will run it now, you can see the ID over here. Okay. I hope this is clear, guys. I hope this concept is clear to you guys. Why we need to use CTE? So CTE, like suppose there are many times when we use subqueries or joins and everything. Okay, not joins basically, but when we use subqueries and all, so it confuses or it makes the code harder to read. Okay, so the CTE increases the readability of our code and it helps in better maintenance of our code as well. Okay, it increases the readability of our code and it helps in better maintenance of our code as well. And there is one more advantage, that is it helps in like there is a topic that is recursive CTE. Okay, there is one more topic that is recursive CTE. So we are not going to cover that recursive CTE in the bootcamp, but it is also one of the major advantage of CTE. Okay, it is also a very major advantage. Like in the recursive CTE, what is like recursive CTE? If I will just give you a brief definition. So when we have to write recursive queries, okay, when we have to write recursive queries for hierarchical data, when we have to write recursive queries for hierarchical data, then we use recursive CTE. Okay, so this recursive CTE is also a very good advantage of CTE. I hope this is clear, but right now just don't dive into this recursive CTE part. Just ignore this because this comes under advanced and everything. Okay, like all the recursive queries and everything. Okay, so right now we are not going to discuss about recursive CTEs. We are just going to like the queries that I am discussing right now with you guys are non-recursive CTEs. The queries that I am discussing with you guys is are non-recursive CTEs. Okay, so let's just focus on these non-recursive CTEs. I hope this is clear, guys. Yes, in this use case, you can normally use a simple select command as well. It is not like you have to apply the CTE only. You can also use normal select command, but like this is a very basic example of CTE. So like if I have to just show you a very good example, so I have to create a complex table and then I have to write complex queries, so it will take my time and it will confuse you guys as well. Okay, so I just showed you a very basic example of CT, like how can you use basic CT. Okay, so I hope, so let's just take one more example of CT. Okay, so let's suppose I want to print the average marks of the class. Okay, let's suppose I want to print the average marks of the class. So what I can write, and I also showed you one of the characteristic is like, yes, we can give our own names. So as you can see in the previous statement, I have given top scorers to my table name. Okay, so that is how we can give our own names as well to the temporary result sets. Great. So let's just do one more. Let's just practice one more query. Suppose I want to find, suppose I want to find the average marks of the class. Okay. Suppose I want to find the average marks of the class. So how can I do it? How can I achieve this using CTE? So what I can use with, okay, sorry, I can use with, let's say, average marks. So this is my table name as my temporary result set name. Okay. With average marks as, I will write select, I will use an aggregate function. Okay, this is an aggregate function that is average. So if you guys remember the aggregate functions. That is the sum, average, min, max, and all. You guys remember the aggregation functions? Yes. So that is similar average function. I'm going to use the average aggregate function. Okay. So I'm going to use select average marks from student student, and now I will write, so this is my temporary result set. Okay, if I will write select star from average mark. Now if I will run this SQL, you can see the average marks over here. I hope the CTE part is clear to you guys. I hope the CTE is clear to you guys. If everything till now is clear, write clear in the chat quickly, guys. Great, everything is clear till now. Great. So in today's lecture, what we have seen the basics of, like, first of all, we have revised the types of joins. Okay, The first thing what we did is we revised the types of joins, then like all the inner join, outer join, the types of outer join, that is left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. Then we have seen the cross join over here. Then we have seen a basic difference of character and varchar. Then we have seen common table expression. Okay. Then what is the definition of common table expression and the basic characteristics? And we have seen a basic of base, and we have taken the basic idea of CTE. I hope the topic CTE is clear to you guys. Okay, great, clear. Foreign key is a key which is like used to relate one table to another table, and the like foreign key is a key which is used to relate two tables in a very basic term. Great. So this is it for today, guys. So I will quickly post the attendance link in the live chat so you guys can fill out the attendance form. So the attendance link is there in the chat, so you guys can fill out the attendance form. Okay. If you have any kind of doubt, you guys can ask me in the chat. Okay. Okay. SQL is a language. Okay. SQL is the language in which we write our codes and everything. And MySQL is a like you can say RDBMS or relational database management system. Okay. So, in very simpler terms, SQL is a language in which we write our command lines and everything, and MySQL is a platform you can say through which we can access. How much SQL needed for SDE roles? So, SQL like all the concepts that are covered in this bootcamp are the most important concepts. Okay, there are one or two more concepts except all the concepts that are covered here. So what should be the next step is like you must have a very good practice of SQL. Okay, like practice more and more commands, more and more questions, so that you can have a grasp of SQL. So the project you guys will be doing is like I will give you one or two questions, and you have to you have to write the execute the queries on those questions. Okay. SQL and Power BI are used to like for data analysis part. Okay, so you can easily get a data analyst job. You can perform SQL queries anywhere. Okay, so it is not like any advanced level of SQL or something. You can perform SQL anywhere. You can install some SQL compiling softwares and everything as well. Okay. So I am again sharing the link over here. So if any one of you are is left, so you can still fill out the attendance form first. Okay. The link is in the live chat, so you guys can go and quickly fill out the attendance form. The query sheet, you guys can just simply go and write like you can ask ChatGPT as well to give me some SQL queries to practice and everything. Okay, so normalization is a very different thing. Okay, you can like right now just leave that normalization part. No SQL is also like similarly as like MySQL and all. Okay, NoSQL is a non-RDBMS, okay, system database. But like I haven't discussed the RDBMS and everything, so I'm not going to explain these terms right now. Candidate key is like all the keys that can be primary key, and foreign key is a part of candidate key as well. So I've already told the difference between SQL and MySQL. So SQL is just used for SQL is the main language, and MySQL is a RDBMS. Okay, RDBMS is relational database management system. So like it is a system through which we can manage our databases and all. Whereas SQL is the structured query language. It is a language. So to handle the like in data analysis, you deal with large amounts of data. Okay, so that is where SQL is very much needed to handle the data properly. You with the help of data, you make different types of graphs or pie charts, or you like data analysis. What is data analysis? Data analysis is like dealing with the large amount of data and showing useful results. Okay, showing useful or insightful results. So when you are not able to handle the data, so you cannot show the results as well, right? So to handle the data, SQL and everything is very much important. Okay, so yes, this is it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for joining today's session. The attendance link is again there. I have sent it in the live chat. So you can just go and fill out the attendance form today. I've explained the difference between SQL and MySQL many times. Okay, so you can just watch the video like 5 to 10 minutes before. Okay, so this is it for today. So let's meet tomorrow on the same time, that is 7 o'clock. And tomorrow will be the last day of this amazing 5-day bootcamp, SQL based bootcamp. Okay. Give one example on foreign key. Okay, so I will try to give the example tomorrow because many of you guys have already left. Okay, so I will try to give one example of foreign key tomorrow. Okay, thanks a lot for joining today, guys. Thanks a lot. So I hope every one of you have filled the attendance form. If still not, then please quickly go and fill out the today's attendance form because it is very much important for the certificates. The attendance link is there in the chat. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's meet tomorrow on the same time, that is 7 o'clock. Thank you.